So I'm always gonna do these pep talks forever and ever, even though I've done so many variations on this idea a million times before in other videos. But I'm gonna keep doing these because I think it's really important for people to hear it. So I'm gonna say it until all of you have heard it at least once. Ooh woo. Okay, make your comic, even if it's really bad. You've probably been doing all this like prep work and writing and designing your comic. You know, if you've been following along with these videos or just this is what you've been up to recently, I don't know your life. But you might wake up one day and look at all this work you've done and go, oh my god, my art is bad. My story isn't original, my plot doesn't make sense, my art is messy and terrible, and all my characters are boring. What am I doing? This is horrible, you know? You're just suddenly super disenchanted with this whole story that you've been working on for days, or maybe weeks or months. And let me tell you, as someone who has done many, many comics and started many projects, this is totally normal. This happens to me all the time. Every project has a honeymoon phase. It's where you start your project or your comic and you're super excited and you're happy and everything about this is amazing. Your idea is the best thing ever. You think about it for hours, you think about your characters and the art and you doodle everything and you get super excited and you sit down and you start designing stuff or you start jumping in on comic pages. And then, for me, it's usually, sometimes it's like within a few days, though usually it's within a week or so, which is not a lot of time, I know. Suddenly, you look at your project and you hate it. You start to second guess everything, you start to doubt your capabilities. It's real bad. But the truth is, your project isn't bad. Your art isn't bad. Your writing isn't bad. Your ideas aren't terrible. You know, your designs probably aren't boring. You've just been staring at the same problem for a long time, and suddenly, it's like all these little flaws are jumping out at you. Things will probably feel stale because you've been with it for so long. You've turned it over in your head so many times, it just feels boring and derivative, and you've probably second-guessed everything into oblivion. Now, if you're at this stage, you might start to look to new projects to work on because you're looking for that rush of a feeling that you get when you start a new project. But you gotta not start another project because you know what's gonna happen? You're going to fall out of love with it the same way that you are with this comic right now. Just remember that. Another thing that could be contributing to feeling bad about what you're working on is that working on projects means that your skill level is growing, especially if this is your first time making a comic. And since you're learning a whole lot of new things and you're practicing your craft every day, you know, you're soaking up a whole bunch of information and you're just getting better at what you're doing. So you might be looking back at stuff you did days ago or even yesterday, and you go and you now have the knowledge to look at it and see that there's flaws in it. Because when you made it, you didn't know what you know now. And again, you might feel the urge to go back and start fixing things you've already made. However, don't do that. If this is your first comic, it's better to learn how to make a comic the whole way through than to pick at things that you've already done until they're perfect. You're going to learn so much by making mistakes, and you have to let yourself make mistakes and move on until you're done. Because if you never move on past the beginning, you're only going to know how to do beginnings, and then you're not going to know how to do middles or endings. This all comes with a disclaimer that if you're someone who needs to fix flaws as soon as you see them, for example, Bones writes like this, but he's had like a lot of projects to figure this out for himself. Like, go back and fix things if that's you. You know your working style better than I do. But if you are the person who will pick at the start of your story forever and never move on, you gotta move on and finish this comic. Have you ever heard that expression, like, you can't see the forest through the trees? When you feel bad about your comic, it's probably like that. You're too focused on all the little things to see the whole picture. I often get this way if I'm working on, say, like, a painting or a page and it looks bad. I need to take, like, a day and just step away from it, even just, like, go across the room and look at it from far away so that I stop worrying about all the little things and just see it for what it is with fresh eyes. So you might be bored with what you're working on, you might think it's bad, but if someone new looked at all your stuff who's never heard about your story before, they'd probably really like it. They would see all the ideas that you have as fresh and exciting because they haven't been, staring at this for forever the same way you have. You know, they'll probably feel like you did when you started and be really excited and think it's really cool and novel and cool and awesome. How many times am I going to say cool? So even though you feel like your comic sucks, keep working on it. Your mind might change, you know, in a week or two, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple hours. Your mind's going to change. You're going to get excited again because you're going to hit a point in the project that makes you happy again. And if it feels like you're still trudging through for a little while, just remember you're learning a lot and just try to see this project through to the end. You know, make lots of mistakes and you'll learn from them. Your next comic will be even better. You're telling a story that only you can tell through your art and your writing. So go out there and you make that dang comic, you silly sandwiches. Gosh dang, I'm here rooting for you. I'm in your corner. I think you can do it. And if it helps, I constantly want to give up on my projects. I think they're all bad at some point in the creation phase. There'll just be day to day where I'm just like, everything I make is terrible. Ah, and it's very dramatic. But I know that, like, people have read my work and they like it. My work is probably pretty okay. So, you know, some days I'll have good days with my art and I think everything is great. And I think if you keep working on your stuff, you're going to feel that way too. Wow, I'm slurring. I'm so tired. All y'all are so resilient and lovely. So go make your comics. You can do it. I believe in you. Ooh woo. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed because it's late and I've been doing chores all day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this pepped some of you up. I hope I'm not just like being silly. Anyway, okay, Ursula, stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next couple days. Tomorrow you'll get more lovely writing advice from Bones. Make sure to subscribe if you want more lovely comic creation content. And I guess if you have any questions about comics, leave it in the comments down below. And eventually we'll answer them. Maybe on a Q&A stream on Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. But it's always good to hear from you guys what you want to know so that we don't skip over something that you need to know about. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye. I believe in you.